Transcript. All right, let's say a prayer. Placing my hands on my heart. Taking in a deep breath of love and gratitude. So grateful for this opportunity to come together to be the two or more gathered in the name and the nature of love. So grateful for our willingness to be open and receptive, to be able to hear clearly and know fully the teachings of A Course in Miracles, which is really written on our hearts. It's just a teaching of love, being loving, self-love. We're so grateful for these teachings, for this community that comes together with compassion, with understanding, with authenticity, to love and to share with each other. We're grateful for our mighty companions, our earthly and heavenly helpers. We ask them to bless all those here, to bless all who may listen later, to bless the technology we get to use to come together each week. And we're grateful to share the blessings that we receive, the blessings that we are, the love that we are with everyone because we're one with them. In grace and gratitude, we let it be, and so it is. Amen. All right. So we are in chapter 29, section 9, the forgiving dream. Yeah, so much goodness in here. I think I'm going to start us with paragraphs 4 and 5. I'm starting a few sentences in on 4 and all of 5, where Jesus says, "Little child, the light is there. You do but dream, and idols are the toys you dream you play with. Who has need of toys but children? They pretend they rule the world and give their toys the power to move about and talk and think and feel and speak to them. Yet everything their toys appear to do is in the minds of those who play with them. But they are eager to forget that they made up the dream in which their toys are real, nor recognize their wishes are their own. Nightmares are childish dreams. The toys have turned against the child who thought he made them real. Yet can a dream attack? Or can a toy grow large and dangerous and fierce and wild? This does the child believe because he fears his thoughts and gives them to the toys instead. And their reality becomes his own because they seem to save him from his thoughts. Yet do they keep his thoughts alive and real, but seen outside himself, where they can turn against him for his treachery to them. He thinks he needs them that he may escape his thoughts, because he thinks the thoughts are real. And so he makes of anything a toy to make his world remain outside himself and play that he is but a part of it. Yeah. So I was, it really does speak to how this world is just a playground. Reminded me of where it says we are the dreamers of the dream, placing aspects of our personalities outside of ourselves and then putting them into different positions like pawns on a chessboard to play with different experiences. And so when we're doing that, we can take full responsibility and realize that everything that is happening to us, we are the ones that are doing it to ourselves and take full responsibility for it and empower ourselves without blaming and shaming ourselves. So that's what I got from that section. Go ahead, Carla.
So the one, I didn't get to read the whole thing. As you know, for some reason my app won't open up, but is the second paragraph. I don't know how far it goes, but a dream of judgment came into the mind that God created as himself. And in that dream was heaven changed to hell, and God made enemy unto his son. How can God's son awaken from the dream? It is a dream. This is a really key. It is a dream of judgment. So must he judge not, he will awaken. And it goes, I think, with one of the lines you had about his believing his thoughts or something. And I just had an experience this week. I don't think I shared this here, but where it was last week, but I don't remember. Where I was walking down from my hotel room, and this lady in front of me, she left her room and she slammed her door, and she was kind of a big woman, heavy, and it was really interesting how my mind went into thinking, oh, she's upset, oh, she's not very considerate of us because she slammed her, oh, she's heavy, oh. And it was just so interesting, all the thoughts that just went through my mind. I could see the thoughts that, and I don't know if I asked myself this, but it's like, is this a thought I think with God? And so I realized, I had this really big realization where God is love. Is that a loving thought? No, they're none. I don't think any of them were loving thoughts. And so, is that a thought I think with God? No, I'm not going to think with God. So, what I really realized really fully is that it's my belief that makes it seem real. If I believe it, I think, yes, she is, whatever it is, then in my mind, that's what she is. And so I really realized, it was just an amazing moment, how many times the thoughts come into the mind, because all thought is shared, right? And is it my thought? It's not my thought until I believe it, until I accept it as true, until I embrace it as mine. And I realized, oh, there's like the Flintstones. I think I might have shared this about the guy had like a little devil in one and a little angel in the other. So that's what I have. The ego, or whatever it is, the mind that thinks it's separate, offers me a thought, just like God offers me, or the spirit, or the higher self, whatever, offers me a thought. And it's a thought that I listen to, is the thoughts that I listen to. And so I've really become very much more diligent in noticing the thoughts, asking myself, is this a loving thought? And sometimes it seems like a loving thought, but it's always attached, sometimes is attached to something, a judgment, or so. If it's just love, if God is love, that's all I'm interested in. I'm not interested in the judgment attached to it. I'm not interested in anything else. If I drink something, that's a loving thing to do. I'll drink it. Then I notice that my mind will go, oh, that's warm, or oh, that's this, or oh, that's that. I have to notice that. And it's very, very amazing how, what's the word, diligent I become to noticing the thoughts. And as I become if someone's come my door, as I become more diligent, it changes everything. So I got to go. Sorry.
Yeah, thank you, Carla. I so agree with that. And that, that we're the ones that get to choose. And I just got this t-shirt for myself to remind myself not to choose the thoughts that are not with God. It just says, nope. Because I love doing things with humor. Catherine, Tammy, and then Carol.
Yeah, that's good, Linda. I like that. It just reading that section just reminded me that, I sometimes do some classes with Karen J. Gardner, and she does such a good job of helping us remember that we're in a dream, that we are living this world that we live in is just a dream, and that it is giving us this great opportunity to notice what we observe, and to be this good observer. Now, for me, that's the hardest place to sit in the instant. I sometimes have to just be in that moment, and I have to be in my anger and my upset or whatever before, just a little bit before then I can. Sometimes it's longer, sometimes it's shorter. Would that, that's the practice to get so that you're instantly realizing, this is not the truth. I'm having this judgment. I'm having this upset. That means I put a wall up. That means I've walked away from God because I'm in upset. And, God doesn't condemn, God only loves. And so this is what we're learning. I believe that that's why we're here in this form, in this world, to learn how to be more loving, more accepting, and to just not go into these fearful moments. But we're not there yet. That's why we practice. We're not there yet. And sometimes it can be disheartening because you think, oh, there I've gone and done it again. But see, God's not condemning us. God's saying, okay, you noticed. Become aware. Just notice, become aware. But sometimes the mirror gets real exhausting. So that's where I'm at. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Catherine. Tammy, and then Carol.
Oh, Catherine, thank you for reminding me that I actually have a session with Karen J in the morning that I completely forgot. And Linda, I love your shirt. You know what? I am realizing that when I'm in these thoughts, when these thoughts are going on nonstop, I am not in the mind of God. And I am realizing that when I am in complete love, there's no steps, there's no procedure, there's just this being. And sometimes I go back, I've had really 2 serious experiences where I know that I was really vibrating in love. Yeah. And I go back and I try to find out, to see if there was steps, like what I was thinking, what was going on in my mind. And I realized there isn't anything there. So maybe the mind of God just doesn't have any thoughts. It's just us being, because we're living in our hearts. That's a time that we're really connected to our heart. And so it's separate. I don't really want to use the word separate, but we're just not in our head. Yeah. But one of the things I really wanted to ask a question, like, could our saboteur, the stories that we tell ourselves, could there also be our idols because we value it more than being loving? Okay. Because I was thinking about that yesterday. I was like, oh, Tamisha, you're valuing too much of this judgment and nonsense. Maybe you're making these things your idols. So I just wanted to know if anybody feels the same way, like these stories, it's time to give it up. It's time to give them up. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah, absolutely. They can become our idols. I mean, I just had an incident yesterday happen where I reached out to somebody that I've been having conflict with for the last year or so. And I'm coming to a place of peace and feeling like I'm working through some things that may allow me to have a relationship with this person again. But there's stuff that I have to do working on my own patterns that I've had since I was a child. And when she responded to me, it felt like an attack. And I could feel how easy it was for me to go back into that. Well, I want to retaliate to her and I want to make myself right. And I'm like, oh, these are my idols right now. So absolutely, we can make those idols. Yeah. Carol and then Derwin.
Hi, everybody. I think I missed last week. We've been in transition. I'm not at the shore anymore. Can you tell by the no wallpaper? Anyway, we've been back and forth. We're selling our house. We're packing things up. So if I'm not in class, it's mainly probably that we're doing other stuff that we have kind of a deadline about getting the house ready to sell. Yeah, so anyway, if I'm not here, it's not because I don't want to, it's because other stuff has to kind of take precedence for the moment. But today I had a really, what's the word? Synchronicity or, it starts with an S, but anyway, things came together and I read this section and then I went, because I basically read The Way of Mastery kind of simultaneously with the course because it's very parallel to the course. And then I do get the daily word from the Unity Church, okay? And all three of these texts pointed to the same thing. And basically, it's about self-honesty. Okay, the course says, when you're a child, children play with those toys, they make stuff up, and then the minute you want to help them see, they don't want to see. They don't want to know that they did something. They'll point to somebody else and they'll say, no, they made me do it, and so because there's the child in us. We do it too. I do it, have done it. Hopefully I'm doing it less, but I don't really know. But so the paragraph in our Forgetting the Dream that really stuck out for me was, there was a time, it's 6, when childhood should be past and gone forever. Seek not to retain the toys of children. Well, in The Way of Mastery, Carla and I have this new thing we do. We just open the book to whatever comes, okay? So today I opened it to The Way of Transformation, lesson 22, self-honesty. And the little part of it, the chapter or the little section was inner silence, the threshold to wisdom divine. Being wanting and willing to sit with ourselves, to be truly honest with ourselves, then we cannot stay in our idols. We cannot, it gives questions. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but it gives questions called an exercise in self-honesty and questions to ask ourselves to keep track of what's going on with us. It's powerful because the course said it. I opened it to this other book and the daily words said it too. And so I'm thinking, okay, God, I hear you. We really need to, whether it's called meditation, whatever we want to call it, it's called looking within and checking ourselves out in terms of, have I been kind and loving? Whatever relationship I'm in, or the latest phone call I may have had, or just to really, really, really look and be the adults that we desire to be and not the children. And really, I think if we do that sincerely, Spirit will help us really, really get good at it. You know what I mean? The practice of it. And that way, then there isn't going to be a whole lot of confusion. You know what I mean? Not knowing what's going on. I think it's practice makes perfect, or as perfect as we can be. I just wanted to share that because that was so synchronicitous. Ooh, there's a big word. I don't have that often very much. So today it was like a big revelation. I said, I've got to share that because It's like really, 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 Carol, you must listen now. You know, that was my word from spirit. I got to pay attention, go within, get quiet, and truly want to be honest with myself and be authentic. Isn't that another word for the same thing? Yeah. I love you guys. Love sharing with you.
Thank you, Carol. So happy to hear that you're selling your house. This has been a long time coming. And I absolutely can relate to what you were sharing there too, because it relates also to what Tammy was asking about. You know, when we are not being honest with ourselves, we're using those idols, those things that we see as problems, as a way of diverting our attention so that we don't have to be honest with ourselves. Awesome. Derwin, and then Nancy Gale.
Hello, good afternoon, good morning. Good morning, good afternoon. Hello, everybody. I'm happy to be back. Last week I wasn't here, and it was fine because I had work and it was a busy week. But oh, I missed you all. And I didn't thought I would say it like this. Yeah, I love this group and I love reading A Course in Miracles, now doing the daily lessons, just be at peace with the peace and love that transmits from this group. So I'm really happy that today we end this chapter, the awakening. Yeah. And I felt a complete joy reading it, but a joy, a silent joy. And the more I hear you all share, the more I also digest it, the more yeah, because it's all good already. And I'm enjoying not feeling resistance to certain sentences I read or certain paragraphs. Even if I don't get it immediately the first time, I catch myself unconsciously going back a few sentences, reading it slower, and then zoom out. Why do you have to do that, Derwin? Look at it well. Oh, it's just telling you to let go. And I just want to highlight something of the last paragraph. So that is paragraph 10. It starts with forgiving dreams remind you that you live in a safety and have not attacked yourself. So do your childish terrors melt away? So do your childish terrors melt away? And dreams become a sign that you have made a new beginning, not another try to worship idols and to keep attack. And I like this sentence because it starts with the forgiving dream. And somehow, in A Course in Miracles, in doing the work, I don't know, everything has the meaning you give to it, of course, but I gave dreams like a negative connotation, because I thought dreams are now illusion. They're in A Course in Miracles, you're not saying anymore, you're a dream, you're saying, because those are illusions, it's better to say that's an answered prayer. And I love saying that's an answered prayer. So people here at work hear me say it constantly, and I laugh with them because they're looking at me like, Darren, this is just work. But it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Until I read this sentence today. Because to me, the first sentence, forgiving dreams, where I thought, okay, that sounds a bit like an illusion, a dream that I need to forgive. But it's also a very big thing. If you read this paragraph, it's really releasing that tiny mad idea. And it feels so good that we can let go of that tiny mad idea where we thought we are separate, where we thought, and we go all the way into thinking many stuff of separations. But I don't know if this makes any sense, but it doesn't matter. I'm at peace with it. And I really, really enjoy the power of reading the text together and sharing. So have a lovely day, everybody.
Thank you, Derwin. So glad you're here this week. And I think it's hysterical that you say it's an answered prayer.
I learned it from the community.
Because I hear myself saying stuff like that, or, oh my gosh, that's so miraculous. And people will be like, what? I just, it was just, I found my car in the parking lot, but it's everyday miracles. If we notice them more, guess what we get to have more of? Those everyday miracles. And I can see how we could put a negative connotation on dreams, but that's one of the things that he says in the text too, is that we forgot to laugh. So it's just about reminding ourselves that this is just a playground. We need to remember that it's light and laughable. Thank you for your share.
You're welcome.
Nancy Gale, and then Kathleen, and then Gwen.
Hi, thank you. Oh, thank you, Derwin. You know what I'm taking out of this paragraph 10, it says, forgiving dreams remind you of, so they're reminding you, remind you of something that's already in your mind that you already knew. I said, oh, and it's like, and then go down to 3, it says, forgiving dreams are kind to everyone who figures in the dream. It's like, oh, okay. And it's like, and so they bring the dreamer full release, full freedom from the dreams of fear. It's like, oh, that's cool. I'm totally excited here. I had my first treatment yesterday and there was a glitch and we thought, oh, but the thing was, I said, I stayed calm and I just went to spirit and I said, okay, handle it. They thought that I was going to have to be able to start the port thing was turned sideways. It wasn't flat till they couldn't get it in. So they sent me for an x-ray and then when I came back, they looked at it and the other girl, the original girl, said, I'm going to try it one more time. And she did. And she said, tell everybody you have to go in from sideways. You can't go in flat. And then we proceeded, everything was fine. So now I'm wearing the thing for till tomorrow. Anyways, and I thought, and I was like, I was so calm. And it's like, and I don't remember if I said anything to anybody, but it didn't really matter because I was in that and I was like projecting that energy, It's like so cool. Well, anyways, and then later it's like this, and I'm thinking, looking back over the day, and I'm thinking, wow, I don't have to just. What do you call it? Exactly say it or exactly think it. All I have to do is think the thought, spirit, you do it. That's just keep it that simple. I don't have to do a whole bunch of words. Well, anyways, and I said, okay. So the thing I was just getting, also what I realized last night when I was going to sleep, I tend to be, well, it's quiet, and I start doing. I realized what I've been doing lately is when I was a kid at 7 or 8, in the summer, basically, I was always put to bed at 7:30. It didn't matter how long the light was out and how all the other kids and everybody was outside living their life. I had to lay in that bed for two hours of listening to everybody else having fun, right? And so that my mind, if it would get dark, then my mind, it's like I'd lay there. And this is before I knew anything about God or spirit or anything. And then I'd close my eyes and then I'd see these like like you see in movies, like, I guess they're usually ghost stories or something, but just like a light, like a flash of light, it doesn't have a form, but all of the ones, then I'd have this one and this one, they'd always be the silhouette of a person. That's all. And I still remember that. And I said, so that's what's happening to me now. Again, it's like, okay, until I can go and that's what puts me to sleep. And that's a peaceful, I feel peaceful and calm and safe. That I'm not alone. And these are beings of, so maybe they're ascended masters or, people that have, maybe that's it. But anyways, so the other thing that I just got was, thinking back to my mom, and what Jennifer keeps saying is somewhere. I finally got it. Behind, it's like anger. Start with anger and we work backwards. You behind the anger is fear. Behind the fear is some kind of hurt or wound the person got. As simple as that. When somebody's angry, they'll attack. So attack, anger, fear, to their wound, to their hurt and their pain. And I said, oh, that's simple enough. I can keep that in mind. Anytime I see somebody, I can just go to that and think and, go through that, like those steps. And it's like, so, and then see the person they're hurting. They're afraid of something that happened will happen again to them. That's what the fear is. And they don't want that. So then they get the anger and then they do whatever they do in anger. Anyway, I'm done. So,
thank you.
Nice to see you, Derwin. I love to see your smile. I loved your what do you call it? Energy. Thank you. Thanks, Linda. Oh, and I like your shirt.
Thank you. Nope. Yeah. And I just, when you were talking about the lights, I just got, it's like your guardian angels that are attending to you while you sleep. They're protecting you. They're healing you. They're, taking good care of you.
Oh, thank you for that. I like that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay.
Kathleen and then Gwen.
Hi, everybody. Great to be back. I wasn't here last week. Whatever. So I was just thinking how, I really love 7 and 8. So in 8 it says, forgiving dreams have little need to last. It makes me think, once we get it, we're not going to be around a whole lot longer. They're not made to separate the mind from what it thinks. Whoa, what's that mean? So it's like, it's okay to create what's in our mind. It's okay. Once we start having forgiving dreams, it's okay to create what's in our minds. They don't seek to prove the dream is being dreamed by someone else. And so we get to claim this great life that we're living. And in these dreams, a melody is heard, which everyone remembers, though he's not heard it since before all time began. Forgiveness, once complete, brings timelessness so close, the song of heaven can be heard, not with the ears, but with the holiness that never left the altar, which abides forever deep within the Son of God. And when he hears the song again, he knows he never heard it not. And where is time when dreams of judgment have been put away? So it was just kind of a synchronicity, because I was talking to my sister this morning and she's reading the Reluctant Shaman. I don't know if any of you have read. But in there, this woman is having all these experiences. And one of them is that she's being told that we each have a song, and that we can find this music or this song that's for us, created by us, of course, somewheres in some time. So that was kind of a cool synchronicity. And then right before this, Robert Perry was interviewing Sharon Rowlett, who writes books about near-death experiences. And she was talking about, or Robert said, is there evidence with all these people that have died and come back that we have a purpose in this life, that each of us has a purpose? And she said, yeah, there's lots of evidence that we do have a purpose. Each one of us has a purpose in this life. And then I was reading the Seth books again, The Nature of Personal Reality, and Seth Speaks, and where Seth talks about how kind of before we are rebirthed again, that we maybe choose our parents or choose like maybe a theme that we want to do in this life. So just all these different things that I'm reading and hearing today all kind of are going together. And in the end, it's creating a happy dream and saying, yeah, I created it. Yeah, yay. It's a great one. I like it. And I'm really powerful. And there's angels standing around me. Everyone's talking about that too. Robert Perry, the woman who's doing the near-death experiences, the Seth books. There's created beings that might be slightly different than God creating us, creating beings to help us out. And they're all around us. So, kind of groovy. Then I was playing my little drum. You gotta have toys. Thanks.
Thanks, Kathleen. I love that. First of all, I love your little drum. I noticed it earlier. And the idea that we all have a song, because music is just vibration. Energy is vibration. Light is vibration. So it's probably has to do with our DNA makeup. And that's why music speaks to us so powerfully and can be so healing. Yeah. Thank you. Gwen.
Pat, I was showing you my drum.
Oh, that's so cool, Tammy. Everybody's got their drums out. Go ahead, Gwen.
Well, we could all get together and have a drumming session, Linda, the drums. So I love what everybody's sharing. When you were talking about synchronicities, Carol, and whatever, this is just a really almost a non-thing, but it happened. And I was at Walmart on the weekend and I was getting some things and I'm leaving to get ready to walk out to the parking lot and I'm looking for my keys and I can't find them. So I'm decided, okay, I'll walk out to the car. Maybe I left them in the ignition or on the car seat. I really felt that that wasn't going to be there, but I walked out, the door was locked. So I'm like, oh, darn, man, like, how long am I going to have to be here? But I didn't resist it. I'm like, what the heck, just have to try to, reroute myself back to where I went. And there was a greeter standing there. And I just went over and said, by any chance, did anybody find any? Yeah, somebody found some keys. They just took them over there. And it was like, I didn't resist that I might be there for 2 or 3 hours looking around and boom, it was right there. And I just said, thank you. And I was walking out, saying, God bless the person who, turned in my keys and thank you for that. I was really appreciative that I could continue and get some things done. But that's just a little thing, but it really was very impactful for my day at that moment. And in here, paragraph 9, kind of some things came up for me that I recalled. Whenever you feel fear in any form and you are fearful, if you do not feel a deep contentment, a certainty of help, a calm assurance that heaven goes with you, be sure you've made an idol. And that does tend to happen at times. I'm really close to my daughters and my siblings. We all kind of share similar ideas, beliefs, and so forth. And one of my daughters decided to call on Friday and very concerned about all the world conditions and what's going to be happening in the months and years to follow, and in a very concerned, fearful, upset state. And so I felt like she decided to call me and bring it over to me. But I just listened and I decided, that's not my reality. What I know is what I'm experiencing and feeling at any given moment. And I'm like, I have this beautiful house. I have some roses that are blooming. They're absolutely fabulous. They smell magnificent. I have so much beauty and joy around me. That's what I choose to believe. So whenever I was getting a couple things triggered me Friday, and it was like, I just had to remind myself, let go and remember it's how and how we react. There is no problem. There is nothing wrong going out there. Everything is fine and good. So, and thanks for everybody for sharing. And Derwin, you have some wonderful, delightful energy. So glad to see you.
Thank you, Gwen. Yeah, I love those synchronicities. I love the synchronicities. So cool. Anybody else have anything that they would like to share from the reading or from something that happened during the week with them? Go ahead, Nancy Gal.
Okay. Okay, calm. Synchronicities happening for me today too. Well, because we're here. I'll focus on here. But the first time the synchronicity in my life came from Deepak Chopra. And this is years ago, I was at the library and when I was coming out of the library, they had one of those what do you call it, announcement, those big things, signs. And I said Deepak Chopra was going to be at the Landmark Theater in Syracuse, such and such a day. And I was like, and it was sponsored by, we had, in Rochester, they had a, no, it was here. They had a, an organization that, info courses, it was called info course, but it was for local people who wanted to teach what they knew or their thing, whatever. That was who sponsored. So I called the guy up. I said, "Oh, I want a ticket. You got to give me." No, I don't. I was very enthusiastically asking him, "Please get me a ticket to that." And he said, "Oh," so he got me a ticket to it. And you had a assigned seat. He said, "Where do you want to sit?" I said, "Down towards the front, but on an aisle. I didn't like to be right in the middle." That's where my ticket was. So I get there and I go in, and the Landmark Theater, I don't know what the capacity was, but it wasn't a huge place. And got to my seat and was right on there. But I got there and somebody was sitting in my seat. And I said, "How do I handle this?" It's like, so I politely said, this is my seat. And she said, "Well, oh, I'm sorry." She said, she was sitting next, the person sitting next was a friend of hers. So they were just chatting away. I said, "That's okay. I'll go sit in your seat. And when they start, then we can drink." So I sit there. So I go back to my seat. Then, he comes out and then like, how calm he is, and he just speaks and he's so calm and he never takes a break. He just keeps going on and right. So it started at 7:30, I think it was. And, then the lights went down, and I knew the place was packed. And then they opened the back doors and people were coming in and out the whole lobby and down the. There wasn't another soul when he was speaking. The whole time he was speaking, there was nobody else there. It was just him and me. And I thought, and I didn't realize that till later. It was like, nobody's just nothing distracted me. That was just me and him. There was nobody else there. And I thought, oh my gosh. I've wanted this for so long. So I can still remember that experience. The other thing, I forgot, what did Carol say? Oh, so synchronicity is happening here too. Because everyone that's spoken is saying the same things that I've been realizing, or they're having the same kinds of experiences in their life that I've been having. So synchronicity is happening here. So it's really cool. So thanks.
Thank you, Nancy Gail. Yeah, if you ever get a chance to see Deepak Chopra live, do it. I've seen him a couple times, and it is an experience.
He was on Oprah once too. There's another time, and he and Wayne Dyer were best friends.
Yeah.
So I have the book. It was Deepak's book. The spiritual laws, whatever. And I have on the front cover, it's like I had Deepak had signed it because that's the one I took for him to sign.
Yeah.
And when I went to see Wayne, it was like I took that and I said, "Here, this Deepak's guy, he signed it too." It's like cool. I got them both on the same page. But anyway, I forgot. Now I digress.
That's cool.
What were we just saying?
Just if you get a chance to see Deepak.
Oh, that night he was supposed to, he took a break for a book signing, and then he went back to talk, and then he kept looking at his watch, and whoever was saying, he kept saying no. He had a return flight someplace at a certain time. He had to be at the airport, and they kept telling him, "You have to leave now," and he kept saying no. He spent another whole hour. He wouldn't leave. It was so cool.
Yeah, he probably the flight was delayed and he just knew it on an energetic level. Linda Kay, Kathleen, and then Mary Lee.
Good morning. Can you hear me all right? All right. There were a couple different topics I wanted to talk about or ask about, but there really isn't enough time. So what I'd like to say is, Homera, I was very touched by the posting about your brother. Very, very moved by that. And I will be including him in prayer. And Fabi, I'm deeply grateful that your surgery went well And I pray for the expedited healing of your hand. And Ted, I've never heard your music before, but I got to hear it at Sunday at Spirit. And it was so, oh my gosh, so uplifting, so happy and joyful and beautiful. And I was, again, so moved. Tamisha, I know exactly what you're talking, or I think I know exactly what you're talking about the empty space. And I had an empty space moment on Sunday where I was driving home from work and I had some music on, and I'm usually listening to Hawkins' book, so I don't often have music on. And then all of a sudden I saw everything was perfect. So all the houses I was driving by, whether they were in good shape or not good shape, or a color I like or not a color I like, or whatever trees or plants, it just all was perfect. Everything was perfect. And I said, wow, this is great. I'm simply a speck of dust. I could be gone right now and it really wouldn't matter, because all of this is already taken care of. It's all perfect. And it sounds like the kind of thought a person might have when they're suicidal, like, oh, if I'm gone, it'll all be better. It wasn't that thought at all. It was the same kind of thought one thinks when one stands on the edge of the Grand Canyon or is in Yosemite, and you look and you say, wow, I'm simply a speck moving through this universe. And it's a feeling of oneness with everything. But there was no ego. It was just this beautiful, I loved how Tamisha described it, like this empty space that was so full and empty at the same time. And I actually had a revelation on that same ride home about something I was having resistance regarding cash flow and career. And I realized that any resistance I was having, and I knew I was having resistance, but I didn't understand it. It was about, if I work again, and I'm doing some work right now, but I'm not working full on like I'm accustomed to. I realized that my mind had told me, well, if you go back to work the way you worked before, you're going to get sick all over again. And you're going to go right back into all the old habits that you had. You're going to be a workaholic, and then you're going to get sick. You might even get cancer again, but you're definitely going to have mental illness again. I'm like, whoa, is that what's happening? My root cause of being just, again, feeling this resistance to move forward. And this isn't a, gee, I think I'd like to work when I want to work. No, this is their this is a cash flow. Ideally could be present as quickly as humanly possible and as divinely possible. And I could use a miracle or a perception of a miracle. But I just didn't get caught up in the story, but it was very helpful to see the illusion. And I think I could see it only because of that empty space. It just popped in my head. I wasn't even thinking about it. It just came. I'm like, wow, that was so cool. And then I also have to say, I love your t-shirt. Nope is awesome. And Derwin, always great to see you. And you and I need a phone call, or should not need. It would be so delightful for us to have a phone call again. And that's it. So lots of comments, and Nancy Gale, Kathleen. I mean, all these shares have been, Gwen, the story, the keys, just wonderful today. So thank you. I feel so grateful. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Linda. Yeah, I feel like you could use that, my t-shirt, when those thoughts are popping in your head about you're going to get sick. Just think of an image of my t-shirt going, nope. Kathleen, and then Mary Lee.
Oh, I just wanted to say, Linda, I really liked your idea from last week about blessing the gas stations. And I put it on my Facebook page. And I've been doing it like every time I drive by one, sending blessings to it. It really does feel fun and good. Like, yeah, big deal. Gas is $6 a gallon. I'm just not going to go very many places like 2020. But anyway, it really does feel good. And then when I opened up the Seth material the other day, the sentence was, if you're sick, imagine now that's in the past. And now that's in the past. That's in the past. Nope, it's in the past. It's in the past. Just keep doing that. It's like, I'm not sick anymore. That's in the past. Even if it's 1 second ago that you were sick. So I thought, why not? I try it at night when things are hurting, like arthritis. It seems to work on little things for me. Thanks.
That was so helpful, Kathleen. That really was helpful to hear that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Kathleen. I agree. Mary Lee.
I almost wasn't able to get in on the session because my mouse needed new batteries, but I was thinking it was something with the computer and the emails and the blah, blah, blah. I'm really glad that I was able to tune in because it was really helpful for me. In talking about this forgiving of dreams, and that, remind you live in safety and haven't attacked yourself. I think that's something that I think that is one of my idols of attacking myself frequently for whatever, not being as good as I want to be, or not doing as much as I want to do, or on and on the list goes. And just hearing the rest of you address different aspects of this, it just was really, really helpful this morning. And I'm really grateful. I felt like, getting new batteries, like I got new batteries too, from listening to all of you. So thank you.
What a great metaphor you got from your computer mouse today.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Thank you, Mary Lee. Glad you got to be here too. Nancy, and then we'll wrap up.
I have two things. When the gap thing occurred to me, that when we turn it over, that's what we create. How we create the gap. We got a thought. We said, okay, no, I'll say no. Okay, that creates a gap. So it's not in your mind anymore. So then the gap is a clear space for the spirit to go into and give us the idea or the answer or whatever it is. But you have to clear the gap out so the other idea can go in. The other thing was, forgot what it was. The song. The song is like I used to, when I was, I saw, whatever. The song kept I want to be free to be me. I got that from that Marlo Thomas, that musical thing, whatever, that song. It was basically for children, and then recently Jennifer has said, she was talking about we're talking about what's your life purpose, because I keep asking, well, why am I here? What was my purpose? And she's told me, her suggestion was that I was here last week, she said, to help my mom. And of course that didn't work. So she said, well, maybe, in the next life or something. But anyway, so I'm thinking that the song is my life's purpose. It contains my life's purpose, why I'm here, to be free. But then I went back to, okay, all of my experiences, my love experiences. When I wrote the thing I don't know if I read it to you guys. I made my list. It's from the Stop Playing Small thing. I made my list of how can I stop? I can stop playing small by remembering the truth. And then I've got, remember who I am, a son of God. Remember who God is, my creator, my source. Remember who the Holy Spirit is, my teacher. my guide. Remember who Jesus is, my human model of what to do. And then I look back through my life and I'm thinking, oh, and then I said, remember my love connections. And those are the things that in my life, when I actually connected, because I, was so separate from people, when I actually connected with someone or a group of, it was a love connection. Because, and it was like, oh, and it was just love. There was no judgment and all that stuff. But I did have love connections back and through my life. Remember those things, Nancy. Remember those. And so it's so cool. It's just so cool.
Yeah, it's that focus on the light. The darkness takes care of itself.
Oh, I forgot the point. The point was when I thought that Jesus, how he wasn't, because all the negative stuff that I got, it's like, well, he was love, he came, and that's what his purpose was, to teach love and free people, right? And look at how he was treated. And I'm thinking, oh, that was my purpose all along, because that's who I was. That's who I was as a kid. I mean, I didn't know it then, and that's like, and so I got treated the same. Like, see, it's like, so that's what happens when love comes to this world that we've created, how it's received or not, or pushed away. It's like rejected. Yeah. Anyway, thanks.
Yeah, he did not take it personally. He said, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. He did not take it personally. That's some next level releasing of attachments kind of stuff. So next week we are starting chapter 30. Holy cow. Holy cow. The new beginning. And we're going to read all of the rules for decision. So the new beginning, rules for decision. Up until where it says freedom of will. So I'm not sure if we'll get through all of the rules for decision. I think there's 10 of them. Let me double check. There's 7. I think there's 7 rules for decision. Anyways, that's where we're gonna go next week. And I'm excited that, holy cow, we're in chapter 30. We're almost finished with the book. And I'm gonna read Pathways of Light insights for today's lesson, which is lesson number 165. Let not my mind deny the thought of God. This lesson gets to the core of what A Course in Miracles is all about. Jesus brought the Course to us because we have denied what we are and where we are. We are denying that we are in heaven now. We are denying that we are a thought in the mind of God. As the first sentence says, what makes this world seem real except your own denial of the truth that lies beyond? This lesson and the whole Course is here for us to help us change our mind about this denial and about what we desire. When we desire the truth, we will receive it. When we desire to see illusions, we will see that. All through the Course, Jesus tells us again and again that the desire to see the world of separate bodies only brings us illusions of limitation, pain, and death. He helps us see that this is not what we really want. He helps us to remember that the truth lies beyond the illusions of separation. As we stick with the Course day by day, our minds are slowly changed. We are led to let go of what we thought was real. We are led to see all forms of separation for what they really are, which is a defense against God. We are led to open our minds to the truth that we are in heaven now and never left. We are led to understand that it is only our wanting separation that continues to make the forms of separation we see appear real. Jesus tells us, ask with desire. We always get what we want in our heart of hearts. Holy Spirit, I open my mind to you. I want your healing light, your healing peace, your healing understanding. I want to let go of denying the truth. I open my mind to your thoughts. I let your thoughts comfort me and heal my mind of all false images. I will let my mind be healed today and accept the truth. The truth is I am still in God and of God. All is one in God. As I continue to work daily with the course, my values are changing. As I realize that something I value is bringing me pain or sadness or fear, I let it go. More and more, I realize that all I really want is to remember God's love for me. No substitute will ever satisfy me. I am doing less looking for love in all the wrong places. Life is much simpler now. There is less efforting, less energy is put into trying to make the circumstances of the moment fit my image of what they should be to make me happy. Glimpses of the happiness available to me in God show me that all the forms of this world cannot come close to offering me the happiness I really want. Nothing in this world can offer me that happiness. Likewise, nothing in this world can keep me from it. It is only my mistaken idea that something in this world offers me something I want that interferes with my awareness of the peace and joy already given me by God. I am deeply grateful to know that the Holy Spirit is always in my mind, ready to lead me home to the heaven of God's love. My only job now is to practice listening to his guidance. In any moment that I feel apprehensive or uncertain, I will use this as a reminder to turn to him for his guidance and his vision. He will show me with certainty what is truly valuable and show me the valuelessness of the empty images I have mistaken for reality. This is my path to peace and certainty. It is my path to eternal life. It is my path to freedom. The above comments reflect my process as well and help me to articulate it. Sometimes I become discouraged by my apparent lack of progress and forget to see how far I have come. I now see I am experiencing denial of the truth and allowing it to hide God's perfect will for me. I appreciate the passage from today's lesson that reassures us that sureness is not required, only desire. I tend to forget that and start thinking that because I doubt, I cannot have it. My desire is strong, and with each lesson I do, and with each small success, it becomes stronger. Thank you, everybody. Have a lovely day. I'll see you all next week.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you.
I know.
Bye for now.